All right. Are we live? All right, we're live for another installment of Relationship Real Talk. Have I got my microphone here? Yes, I have. Now, I wanted to talk today about community, and there's a reason why I want to talk about community, because I'm launching a new thing today. It's called the Wolfpack Membership, and it's all about community. And it's really exciting to be launching this membership because community is a huge key in our personal development, in our growth journey. And there are a few things that I want to talk about why it's the big key, and it's a key that I have robbed myself of for so long because I was a lone wolf, right? I started a group about 5 years ago called the Wolfpack, and there's a reason why I did that, because I was a lone wolf. I was disconnected from everyone. I held everyone at arm's length. I ran solo. I tried to do everything on my own. And the what am I trying to say? The result of that, right? The destructiveness of that, right? Trying to do everything on your own, believing that I didn't have any support, that I was alone and unsupported in the world. And I found some incredible work on my journey around 5 or so years ago, which a friend of mine put in front of me. And she said, I think you'll really love this. And I combined that with the work that I'd already been doing. I'd been on this huge, expansive, transformational growth journey for about 5 years before that. And I'd been doing incredible work, but then I got this other work and I wove it together. And one of the things that I knew I needed when I found this new work, which is in higher consciousness, is in intuition, was that I needed people around me. Why? Because we are intuitive beings. We're intuitive. We can read each other. We can see each other. We know each other often better than we know ourselves. We can see other people and their patterns and their shit and their behavior, right? Better than we can see ourselves, because we're blind to our patterns unless we're trained. So I needed other people around me to help me grow more, so that they could reflect back to me in love and service, right, to the benefit of my highest good. And I could do the same for them. So I started this group for that very purpose, right? To have the people that were drawn, that were on the growth journey themselves, that were committed to their personal development. I invited them to come and do this with me. That's how it started. That's how the Wolfpack movement started. So I'm launching this thing. It's called the Wolfpack Membership. And it is a membership to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, people that are as bold ass as you are, as committed as you are to your growth journey, to the path. So that's why. And what I want to talk about today is so important in terms of that community piece. So the first thing that I want to talk about is embodiment. Embodiment is the difference between knowing stuff, right, and actually being it, actually living it, embodying it, integrating it. Because what I learned about myself is that I can know a lot of stuff. I can have a lot of concepts. I was almost like a walking frickin' encyclopedia of wisdom, where I could have these deep, meaningful conversations. I could talk about stuff until the cows came home. However, behind closed doors, my life was a mess, man. I was still like consumed by my thoughts and feelings. I was still absolutely um, orientated by my problems and what needed fixing and what I didn't like about my life and what I wish I could change, right? That's where I was still orientated towards. And what I didn't understand was that unless I'm actually integrating the work that I've done, right, where it's not just a bunch of concepts, it's not just a bunch of stuff that I know. So if you're watching, say hi and let me know what's landing. I wanted to actually embody the work so that it actually created tangible results so that I could see the changes, not just talk about the changes, not just talk about stuff. And so much of the time, this is what we're doing. If it's not embodied, if it's not integrated, if the knowledge that you have isn't creating tangible results in your life, then you just know it, right? You might be able to speak about it. You might even be teaching it, right? And I was for a long time. I was teaching this stuff, but I wasn't actually living it. And that is a huge difference because most of the time we know, right? We know what to do. A lot of the time we know what to do. We know that meditation is a great thing for us, but we're not doing it. We know that exercise and walking and doing yoga and riding your bike or whatever it is, we know that that is great for us to keep us healthy in our physicality, but we're not doing it. We know that good food, right? Healthy food is great for our bodies, drinking water, getting more sleep, not doom scrolling and distracting ourselves, right? We know this stuff, but we're not doing it. Why? Why are we not doing it? And that is the piece. Because if we just know this stuff and it's not actually embodied, it's not actually integrated. And the reason why, and this is what I discovered in myself, is that I had so much trapped emotion in my body, and trapped, unexpressed, unspoken words, right? Everything that I've been squashing down for decades, right, was stuck in my body. And there was no space for the new stuff to come in. Because everything was trapped in the cellular structure of my body. There was no room for anything new to take root. It was just literally hanging out in here, right? In the head. It was head stuff. So when I started to bring the body on board, that's when things started to shift massively. And I remember exactly when it was. I was in a hospital. I was in an institution after the birth of my oldest boy, suffering from severe postnatal depression and anxiety, which I'd never experienced before, probably because I was so numb and so pushing everything down that I didn't even give myself a chance to feel it, or I would just be chucking it out at everybody else, right? So I ended up in this institution and I did a lot of work, a lot of talk therapy, a lot of group therapy, a lot of head stuff. But the moment that things changed was when I got on the treadmill. Right? I got on the treadmill at the hospital and I started to get my body involved. Because the body knows the score. The body holds wisdom. The body holds all of our unexpressed shit, right? All of our trapped emotion, all of the trauma that we've experienced. And we've all experienced trauma. We've all been wounded. So once I got the body involved, right, and I got out of that hospital, right, I got out of the institution, because I learned a lot of stuff. And it helped me, the talk therapy, the head stuff, helped me to reconcile the big thoughts that I was having. It helped me talk myself out of it. It helped me work with the cognitive stuff. Yeah, but it didn't get to the root. And I'm talking about getting to the root. And that is what we do in the Wolfpack membership. Yeah, we have these events. We have these weekly sessions where we come together and we actually embody what we know. We don't just talk about it, we embody it. We have a felt experience. Someone just trying to call me while I'm doing my live. So the second thing that I want to talk about is the law of use. If you don't apply it, you lose it, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. There's the cliche, right? The mantra. So transformation, growth, like real tangible results only happen when you use what you've learned, when you actually apply it. And I know that for the first sort of 6 years of my growth journey, I wasn't applying it. I was talking about it, I was teaching it even, but I wasn't applying it. I wasn't applying it. Why wasn't I applying it? Because there was a whole lot of stuff in the way, but I was choosing to stay trapped in a cycle, which was learn, right? The learning orientation, right? Just learn more, just learn more, just learn more. And I was never actually applying what I'd learned. And what was happening was I was going and having these massive, big, expansive, transformational, waking up experiences. Right? I'd go to a huge retreat or 3-day workshop, sometimes a 7-day immersion workshop, and by the next Tuesday, I was back in my shit. I was back in my thoughts, back in my feelings, back in the conditions that I believed had to be fixed and sorted and resolved before I could go and do what I actually wanted to do, right? I was back in my shit. I was back in my behavior, my patterns of behavior. I was back in my reactions. Why? Because I wasn't actually applying what I'd learned. I wasn't putting it into practice. Now, there's a premise that I teach in my work. The premise is your thoughts and feelings aren't real, right? They're not facts. Your thoughts and feelings aren't facts. Why? Because they're based on the past. Our thoughts and feelings come up and they're not facts. And I share this story about this this childhood story that I had where I got it wrong. Like what I thought was happening was not actually happening. I completely got it wrong and I totally went off on one. And then some new information came to light and I was like, oh, I totally got that wrong. Yeah, and let me know in the comments if that has happened to you. When new information has come up and you've gone, oh my God, I totally got that wrong. And I went off on this massive big reaction, like I lost my shit, and it wasn't even accurate. I got it wrong. I'd made something mean something that it didn't even mean. Hey, Alice. I don't know which bit hit you between the eyes, but what was that? So we make shit mean shit that it doesn't mean, right? It's a premise that I use in my work. I teach it. And if I come out of a training where I've been like talking about this premise, and then I come out and I'm with my boys, or I'm with my partner, or I'm with my friends, and I go off on one because I've made something mean something, right? I'm trapped in my thoughts and feelings. I'm getting hysterical, not applying the knowledge that I know that it's historical, that whatever is happening right in front of me is not actually happening. I'm grabbing shit from the past and dumping it into the present and going, that's what's happening. Then I'm not applying it. I'm not applying the premise that I just taught in the training, right? Because I'm getting consumed with my thoughts and feelings. So I'm full of shit, right? Because I'm not applying what I've learned. If you don't use it, you lose it. If you're not applying it. Right? It's like wisdom that sits up on the shelf. Oh, there's another course I did. I'll just tuck that away in the catalogue of courses that I've done, and not actually creating change because we're not putting it into practice. And we don't just talk in this community, right? This membership. We live this work in the practice of the sessions that we have, the weekly events that we have. We practice it. Yeah, I hear you, Alice, the bit about learning this stuff and then not living it. Oh my God, it's such a trap, right? It's so easy to talk about it, but when the shit gets real, right, and you're so convinced that you know what's happening, just to go back to that example, so convinced, your ego has you by the balls, right? Has you by the short and curlies. It has you in its grips, and you're going, no, but I know what's happening. And your ego's going, yeah, we know what's happening, right? And it's from the past. It's not actually what's happening in the moment in front of you. So there's some really big pieces here about the application, like the integration, the embodiment of this work. If you've got trapped emotion in the way, it's not going to take root. You're not going to see the changes. And that's why, because you just know it in your head. You don't have it integrated in your body. And what that means is that your nervous system just continually hijacks you. Yeah, you don't feel safe. Go into people pleasing. Go into fight. Yeah, withdraw, avoid. Totally go offline and give up, throw in the towel. Right? This is what happens when the nervous system has control, when it is regulating you in the only way that it knows how, but it's not supporting you to be able to create what you actually want to create. Right? Live what you want to live. Relate the way that you want to relate. So the last piece that I wanted to talk about on this particular live, right? I'm launching this Wolfpack membership today, which is really, really exciting. I want to talk about the pack effect. Who you sit with and who you share space with, it shifts your level. And if you are sharing space with people who are rising, people who are growing, people that are transforming, people that are creating, people that are just fucking on fire, right? Your capacity, your performance, your vibration, your frequency expands, right? It rises, it by 15% apparently, right? It rises. Doesn't matter how many percent it is, but this was a bit of knowledge that I tapped into not so long ago, and I was like, yeah, cool, I get that. 15%, sweet. Yeah, man. I want to be. I mean, have you heard that there's I've heard this before around that you are the product of the 5 people, the 5 closest people that you hang out with. So who are you hanging out with? And listen to this. This is why this is so important. Because if you sit with people, if you hang out with people, if you share space with people that are playing small, right, that are trapped in these victim mindsets, that are focused on their problems rather than what they would love to create, rather than where they're going, if they're focused on their thoughts and feelings, if they're blaming, if they're shaming and complaining, if they're in these old ways of relating, then your energy, your capacity, your performance drops by 30%. So the people that you're hanging out with either upgrades your level, right, the level that you want to play at, that you want to be at, relate at, or it downgrades it, right? It lowers it. And so many people out there are dropping their vibration, right? To connect with other people. They're up here. They're going, man, I want to fly up here. And then they're like, oh, but there's nobody up here. Oh, I got to drop my frequency. I've got to drop my vibration to connect with this person. And so many people, so many of us are being raised to connect at the level of the victim. Oh my God, I had such a terrible day. Right? Oh, I didn't get enough sleep. Right? Oh, I didn't have enough this. I didn't have enough that. Right? Oh, right. That's where they connect. And our energy drops if that's what we're choosing. This is huge. Who are the people that you're hanging out with? And the reason why this is so big is because so many people get their value, so many people get their worth by rescuing other people. Right? By supporting other people. And look, and I'm not dissing compassion and caring and kindness, right? Please don't quote me on saying that. What I'm saying here is that when we are getting our worth from rescuing other people and comforting other people and helping other people and supporting other people, right? We're robbing ourselves of our own journey, of our own growth, of our own purpose. And we're lowering our vibration. We're lowering our level. And I'm not talking about if you're a coach or if you're, you're in service to other people. What I'm talking about is your friendships, your partnerships, who your partner is. Yeah, if you're wanting to fly up here and your partner's down here and you're constantly having to drop to connect, you're robbing yourself of your true level, of your growth, of your transformation. And this is what's happening, because we gain our worth from being the helper, from being the rescuer. Or we gain our value from hanging out with people that are on a lower vibe, a lower standing, that are just lower, that we hang out with people that are sort of what do you call it? Like a no-hoper or a plodder, or that's funny, my stepfather used to call me a plodder. Oh, you're just a plodder, plodding through life. And I was like, fuck you, man. And I just showed him, like, by going to architecture school and getting first-class honors. Anyway, that's another story. So what I'm talking about is when we hang out with people that are on a different level than us, right? They're not following their hopes and their dreams and their visions, and they're not following that. Gives us an ego boost, right? We're really good. We're like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but we are robbing ourselves, right? 30%, apparently. Holy shit. So this is huge, right? This is huge. Community is a massive thing. It's not just about hanging out and going to dance and, going to a festival. This is what it's about. If you're committed to your own growth, then you want to take this piece on board. Community. So I have talked about one of the biggest pieces and one of the biggest reasons why I'm launching the Wolfpack community, right? The Wolfpack membership. It is a low-ticket membership. Yeah, you join up, you pay $27 a month, and you get access to live weekly sessions, nervous system deep embodiment practices that help us live the work, not just talk about it, right? There's going to be masterclasses, there's going to be spirit guidance writing sessions, meditations, and a real fucking pack to rise with, right? To be at your true level with. That is what we're talking about here. And for this week, and this week only, because this is the launch week, you can join it for $1 and have a free trial for a week. Wow, that's exciting. Yeah, free trial for a week. So the link is in my bio, or send me a message and I will let you know the details and get them to you so that you can join us. And if you want more than that, I'm also launching the Fuck Yes Relationships curriculum. That is available. What is that? It's an online DIY, do-it-yourself journey of content to support you so that you have the content, you have the community. And this is the stuff, this is the online platform that my mastermind clients pay $16K to get access to. And you can have it, for a monthly subscription as a powerful do-it-yourself path. So let's go. These are two things that are now available from today for the next week. The link is in my bio, or DM me for the details and I will get them to you. Powerful, powerful pieces around community, right? And around why you want community in your world so that you can apply the powerful work that you are doing so that you can actually see and experience and live the results of the work that you are doing, of what you're learning. Boom. Very, very exciting. All right, beauties, sending you lots of love. I am going to complete this live and get on with the rest of my day. Ciao for now. I'm going to the beach to hang out with a whole lot of beautiful women, so I'm going to be getting my community vibes on that way. Powerhouse women. All right, beauties, big love. Have a beautiful day. Love to hear your comments. Ciao.